Alright, it's time for part 5 in my series of firsts, and this time I'm going to be reviewing the first Evolve DVD, which is Evolve 1. The show starts off with basically there's a woman backstage with a camera crew, and she goes into the locker room and she basically tells Davey Richards that she's here to basically film everything that's going on, everything that's happening. Davey Richards says, "No, get out of here, I don't want you in here." But again, she fights back, saying, "No, I've got to do it. This is my job." He says, "No, this is my job. You got to get out of here." Tony Kazina comes over, starts to calm Davey Richards down, and then says, "Yeah, love, you're gonna have to get out of here. You know, these are professionals at work, sort of thing." Then it cuts to a shot of two Japanese guys talking. I don't know who one of them is. The other guy's the guy in the main event. Forgotten his name, you know. Oh, that's a bit embarrassing, isn't it? Yeah, then there's a little promo that goes through like all the guys who are going to, not all the guys, but a few of the guys who are going to be fighting tonight on the show, and they basically say why they wrestle, and it's a bunch of rubbish promos, if you ask me. They all try and put it all into it, like saying, "Oh, I wrestle because of this," and "No, I'm going to be all serious because this is what I really care about." But it's nothing too good, if I'm being honest. They could have done with not putting it on. Then the first match is Kyle O'Reilly versus Bobby Fish. Kyle O'Reilly wins. It's an okay match. They're both good athletes. Bit of poor psychology in the match, really, if I remember correctly. I started watching it about 2 weeks ago. I started watching after the first match. I didn't really like it, and then I went back to it earlier today so I could do this review. But yeah, it's just a bit spotty for my liking. Neither one really impressed me. Neither one I could say, "Oh yeah, sign them up for one of the big two companies," or sign them up for Ring of Honor. I don't know if you two have ever been in Ring of Honor. I recognise the name Bobby Fish, but Kyle O'Reilly I'm not familiar with. Second match is Chuck Taylor against Cheech Hernandez. Chuck Taylor wins this match. It's an alright match, better than the first for entertainment value. In terms of wrestling contest, I suppose the first match was a little bit better because it was a little bit more better put together the first one. This is a bit spotty. At this point, can I just point out that during the first few matches in the show, it's not really clear who's a babyface and who's a heel, so I couldn't really get that emotionally invested into it. I was a bit distant from the products because I didn't know who I was supposed to be cheering for, who I was supposed to be against, or who was doing a good job because they were doing well to pander to the fans, and who was doing a bad job because he wasn't being heelish enough, for example. So I couldn't really get the full feel for the matches. Something I noticed in this match is Cheech Hernandez was constantly clapping to get the fans, geared up for the match and to get the fans clapping back, and it really took away from the match because where he should have been selling, he was on the mat clapping, and he did it far too often for my liking. Match 3, Ricochet against Arik Cannon. Oh, I can just point out at the end of the Chuck Taylor match, he cuts a promo about how certain people are being high up the card, and he mentions the name Ricochet. Didn't mean anything to me at the time. I didn't know who Ricochet was. Obviously, when this match started, I understand who Ricochet was. Yeah, it was a below average match, if I'm being honest. Cannon, he was alright, good psychology, better than Ricochet's. I knew Ricochet was just a bit of a spot monkey, if I'm being honest. Did all these fancy moves, didn't really, just a bit out of place if you ask me. Then after the match, Ricochet wins. Chuck Taylor comes out and he basically challenges him for Evolve 2. Ricochet says, "Yeah, alright, basically, I'll fight you. Let's do it right now." Chuck Taylor starts being a bit heelish now. He says, No, don't want to fight you now, I'm going to fight you at Evolve 2. So sort of chickens out from the battle, which has sort of put me over a little bit with me, because I started to like him at this point, saying, yeah, this guy can play the character well, and he can get me involved in the show, he can get me wanting to watch Evolve 2. Next, there's a backstage segment with Silas Young talking to Jimmy Jacobs. And then Adam Cole comes in. I didn't know who the guy was, didn't know who Silas Young was at the time either. And basically, Silas Young's telling some overdose story to Jimmy Jacobs, I was watching it thinking, what's this doing in a wrestling show? So they want to like distance themselves from any drug taking sort of especially overdose like stories like this. So I was wondering why this had been put in. And then yeah, basically Adam Cole comes in and says, "Oh, Jimmy, you might want to get ready because your match is soon." And then Jimmy Jacobs sort of like says, "No, why would I want to get ready? Why don't you get ready for a match? Do 500 Hindu squats." It's like it turns heel on him a little bit. I thought it was pretty crap again, to be honest. All the promos tonight were, tonight on this DVD was rubbish. They could have done without most, like 95% of these promos, I'm telling you. Match 4, Dark City Fight Club. They beat Aeroform. I've not seen Aeroform in the team before. I'd only seen them in I've seen him in the King of Trios, and I'd also seen him in their singles matches at like King of Trios tournament. But I wasn't a fan of either guy. Just thought they're both a bit of a spot, like I said before, spot monkeys, just jumping around for no reason. This match is okay. Dark City Fight Club, like they put their bit in, but like Aeroform just doing the spots, jumping around, didn't give anything to the match. If you like big heavy blows from is it Mark Davis and Chris Chavis? I forget the names. I know it's something along those lines. The ref got a lot of flack in this match. I noticed from like a certain like section of the crowd. They're all giving him grief, like, "Oh, he's a legal man," like all this bullshit, basically trying to put him down. Flip Kendrick, can we just point out at this stage that he did a really good 560 splash, which should have been the finish, but obviously they wanted to put Dark City Fight Club over, so that's why it wasn't the finish. But yeah, it was a really good move. I don't think I've seen that one before, so that's good. Match 5 was the WSU champ Mercedes Martinez beating Nia. A quick squash match, you know, got nothing to say about this really. Mercedes Martinez puts a little promo at the end saying she wants to bring women's wrestling to evolve, and she wants to evolve along with women's wrestling. She also the women's title belt that she had, really nice, I thought. So if the WWE had that title, like the design of it, I'm talking about, it looks really good. It looks better than the Divas title, and that's what I'm trying to convey to you. Match 6, Brad Allen versus Silas Young. Brad Allen wins. There's a few botches in this match. Brad Allen seemed to knock himself out at one point. He did a moonsault to the outside and sort of hit his knees onto Silas Young, but then sort of went face first to the ground. It was a bit of a dodgy moment. But yeah, catch the rest in part 2.